Welcome to the Stringjoy Show. I am Ryan. You know, there are a lot of products that are marketed to we as musicians, and sometimes I wonder if they're snake oil, if I'm being sold, or if they're actually helpful. And one of those things is voltage attenuation. You have no doubt seen the brown box. That is a voltage attenuator. I have something a little different, but does the same thing. This is from the Vintage Sound Workbench. It's called the Tone Preserver. Same concept. One of the ways that designers of voltage attenuators like to market this is as a return to vintage tone. So I grabbed a vintage Marshall JCM800. It's from the 80s, and if that's not vintage enough for you, I have a 1967 Fender Princeton. And then I thought it would also be cool just to try it on a modern amplifier, so I have this Benson Amps Vincent here. So we're gonna run down line voltage and then two other options of reduced voltage to see if we can hear a difference. We're gonna start with the JCM800, and I'm gonna run into the high channel, and I just wanna see if we can do this thing where we increase the saturation by lowering the voltage. For something totally different, we will go with a Fender Princeton reverb from 1967. This is a clean amp, but it's a clean amp known for breaking up relatively early. At least this one does, which is maybe why I like this one so much. But I'm interested to see if we will get more breakup as we lower the voltage. And lastly, we have this Benson Amps Vincent. This was made in 2021. This is a modern built amp. And I'm curious if we're gonna hear any sound difference on this, if it's gonna sound more vintage, or if it's just not gonna have any effect at all. You have to imagine that when Benson designed this, he designed it for the kind of voltage that is coming out of our walls today. So I'm interested. I have no clue what this is gonna sound like. An interesting experiment. I learned something, and I actually own this. I have owned this for some time now, and sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. But I never really sat down and ran through a couple of different amps like this with the expressed purpose of listening for the differences in how it sounds depending on where you have the voltage set. My takeaway is that using it sometimes and sometimes not is probably the best way to do it. Is this snake oil? No, I mean, it is doing stuff. You can hear that it is doing stuff. The question is whether it's appropriate to be using it for what you're using it for. Is it the answer to all of life's problems? Absolutely not. But if you are looking for a very specific sound and you're not getting it out of your amp, this can probably help. I do want to clear up one misconception that I have read multiple times on forums, and something I actually believed, and because it makes sense, but turns out to not be true. And it's the idea that voltage attenuators will actually preserve the life of your tubes. I spoke with Tim Marcus of Milkman Sound, Clean Phasio, Chris Benson, as well as Charles Henry of Silktone Amps, and all four of them unanimously said that that isn't true. It doesn't do anything to preserve your tubes, as far as they know. So we can toss that one out as being snake oil. This is a fun one. If you have any ideas of snake oil products that you want me to try out and see if they are legit, comment below. I'll buy them. I'll try it. Why not? And if you haven't already done so, subscribe below, like, comment, all that stuff. Not to mention our email newsletter. There's tons of really, really great information that comes weekly on that. And I've learned stuff from being subscribed to that email list. See you when I see you.